Hey guys, thanks for coming back to the channel. Um, Today I just want to go over real quick why I think Robinhood is a really terrible app for any trader whatsoever, short of shares. Shares is probably okay, but anything beyond that, like options, is terrible. But even with shares, that's terrible because you can't even do an analysis, any kind of analysis, fundamental, technical, whatever. Um, so with Robinhood, you can't do market orders, right? That's problem number one. Right? So when I get into certain positions, like with shares, for example, and I want to just buy market orders, or even an option. So, let's say the stock price is dropping, I want to do a call option and I want to buy something. Stock price is dropping, and I think it's going to reverse. I want to get in quick. I want to use a market order, right? It doesn't give you the option to do market orders. That is terrible. Uh, Secondly, if you see here, and this is available on pretty much every platform besides Robinhood, right? So this is what's called an option chain for those of you that don't know what this is. And an option chain in mine, for example, I've got a volume column, open interest, delta, theta, probability of in and out of the money, and implied volatility, the strikes. Those are default. Can't really change those necessarily. So, and again, you get the bid-ask spread. These are very important things to have in an option chain. And with when you're trading options, these are very, very important things to know, right? Um, you can find these on Robinhood, but they're scattered. You can't find them in one place like Thinkorswim or Street Smart Edge or Webull or Fidelity, Vanguard, all these other E-Trade, all of these other trading platforms have option chains. That doesn't do you any good whatsoever as an option trader if you're using Robinhood. It, it does you a disservice to use that platform for option trading. There's also no unlimited day trades with cash accounts. You're required to have $25,000, whereas Webull or Thinkorswim, for example, you can open up a cash account and unlimited day trade with settled funds, right? So as long as you've got, say, 10 grand and you're doing $100 positions, you can trade as many of those as you can until you run out of $10,000, and you won't be flagged as a pattern day trader. Or the PDT rule. Those of you who don't know what the PDT rule is, um, you're required to have $25,000 in your account to trade unlimited, right? And I think it's you have to have a 25 grand minimum and then be able to pattern day trade with money above that. I'm not totally sure on that, but I think that's the case. So that's another really awful thing about Robinhood. Um, there's also no charting. You can't look at a chart and do, support or resistance. You can't use indicators. So, again, those two go together. Indicators and charting, they're one and the same. You can't do either one of those. So that's terrible. Um, how do you do analysis when you can't analyze a stock? I think it's also a low end broker. They have not a lot of clout with the market, like Thinkorswim or Schwab or some of these veteran platforms. They've been in the market for a long time, and their orders get, in my opinion, recognized a lot sooner than, say, Robinhood, right? So another thing that I think does all of you traders a disservice is a lot of the headlines that you see in Robinhood. Like I saw, they were saying a hot stock was Hertz and J.C. Penney when they were actually filing for bankruptcy and going out of business. But because people saw that, they thought, oh, this is something I should invest in. Well, it's misleading and misinformation, right? So they're throwing out information out there that that's really bad for you to see. If anything, that's the last thing people should see is information based off of you know hearts being traded very widely when in fact they filed for Chapter 11. Technically, you don't want to get into a company, You don't want to buy shares or options of anything that's filing Chapter 11. Um, with that being said, I've also seen a ton of glitches with Robinhood, showing crazy numbers, invalid option pricing, um, and not being able to log into your account during market hours. I mean, how do you trade when you can't even get into your account? Right? So that's just a terrible thing to have, or a terrible position to be in, especially when you're up, when you're showing profit on a position and you can't get into the platform to take your profit, and then when you're able to get into the platform, profit's gone. Right? So that's a bad position to be in. So don't put yourself in a position to lose. Right? Get one of these better platforms, and I suggest if all you're using is Robinhood, then to transition over to Webull. Right? Webull's the next step up. I think it's a lot easier for people to transition from Robinhood with. It's easier to learn and understand. Um, More advanced seasoned traders, I think, should go to Thinkorswim if you're already on Webull, for example. Thinkorswim is a complex platform, and there's just a ton of information to utilize, but it can be very overwhelming and daunting. So that turns a lot of traders off. And matter of fact, I know people that started with Thinkorswim and they stopped trading because the platform was just too complex, right? They didn't have enough motivation and initiative and determination to continue to learn something, right? Not everybody has that, and that's totally fine. That's why I recommend Webull, because you can take it a little bit slower and learn some of the stuff through there before you jump into Thinkorswim, right? And lastly, the thing I want to talk about as far as why I personally, among the other things that I mentioned, this one specifically really upset me with Robinhood. I was in a position, paid $100 for a contract. It was down 50%. I tried to cut my losses at 50%, right? So $50 market price. What I saw on Thinkorswim, because I use that platform, that's my main platform, and I just wanted to test out Robinhood and to see what all the hype was about. And I tried to get out at mark price on Thinkorswim, which is $50. I put the stock option up at $50, and it wouldn't execute my order. So I thought, all right, well, let's see. It should definitely take my option away if I lower it to $25 when the mark price on Thinkorswim is at 50. So I did that, nothing. It didn't execute my position or anything, and I had open interest on that strike. So it's not like there was zero open interest or I was the only one there. There there was open interest. It just did not execute my position. I ended up taking a complete loss on that. So that right there was the last straw for me with Robinhood. And if any of you have experienced any of these things that I've suggested, I recommend you get off of Robinhood as quickly as possible. It's really a terrible platform, and honestly, I think it's there just to take your money. Um, so, with that being said, if you found this information helpful, um, and you want to take my advice on, say, going to Webull, I can provide you free stock for it, right? So I have a link down in the description. If you want to get a free stock, you can click on that link and it's going to give you a free stock from using me as a reference. If you just join without me or without my link, you won't get the free stock. They do run promotions from time to time where when you do sign up and you deposit $100, you'll get 2 free stocks. But if you use my link, you'll actually get 3 total. So with that being said, thanks for joining this video, and I hope that you subscribe and like this channel, and I'll continue creating as many educational videos that I can think of to help those of you that don't understand or just want some more information to help you be successful. Thank you.